the further you get away from nature and what is natural, the more that problems start to arise in all different areas of life. The more we get away from the way we were naturally intended and designed to live, that's more when different illnesses and ailments start to happen. And so the weed and the marijuana today is so far away from how it was naturally intended to be that it is now toxic and poisonous. The weed is significantly stronger than the stuff your grandparents used to smoke. I know it's, science has shown that it's, I think, 10, 20, 30, 40 times more powerful in THC content than, the stuff, that weed that was grown 50, 60 years ago, and it's just increasing. Everybody obviously wants to have the most powerful product on the market. It's such a competitive marketplace as it starts to become legalized in more and more states, and so dispensaries are doing whatever is necessary to make their weed as strong and as powerful as possible, without understanding the harmful effects that it could have on us. And I don't think we really understand or know the long-term effects of smoking such significantly powerful weed that has TH levels through the roof. That's not how weed was designed and meant to grow in nature. If you saw marijuana growing out in the woods naturally, it would be significantly weaker. That's most likely how that it was designed to be consumed, and not super powered, just like they've proven that all these GMO plants and fruits and vegetables that have been they're 10 times larger and more sweet and delicious than they are in nature. There's been studies and stuff that have shown that there's problem with those as well, that all these GMO fruits and vegetables do have harmful effects on the body. And that's not even considering the weed and the marijuana, the toxins and the pesticides and the poisons that have been sprayed on it. You really are just trusting, whether you're getting it, if you are getting it from a dispenser, you're trusting that, they're putting stuff on it that's safe. But I'm sure their biggest concern is to make the most powerful product on the market. And, even if they claim to be organic is one of those things that you can easily cut corners and still call your product organic, or you just have to be able to spray enough poison on it that's within limits. But it's organic now because we didn't, we only sprayed the, within the, it's, so there's a lot of scam and conspiracy around, what can be considered organic. I know there's been tests out there, new tests that have been coming out. I've seen a video recently talking about how they did a blind test on different weeds at legal dispensaries all throughout the country, legal dispensaries, and how, they came back with all different kind of chemicals, harmful carcinogenic chemicals on them, some even heavy metals. These are from legal dispensaries. And so smoking that stuff is not going to be good for you. Now, if you're getting it off the street, from a friend or a dealer, then it gets even shadier and crazier. And that's the weed that I smoked the majority of my life came from friends and dealers where you really have no idea, what it was grown with. It could be coming from Mexico, a different country, and I'm sure these dealers aren't thinking of your health, as their number one concern. They're trying to make the best product possible. And so, if you were going to smoke weed, you'd be better off smoking, weed that just grew naturally out in nature, that hadn't been messed with and used pesticides and all kinds of, harmful chemicals and fertilizers that are, that are not good for us. Because whatever they use on that plant, you're going to be ingesting as well as you smoke it. And a lot of marijuana nowadays is grown indoors using lights. And there's now new arguments and study coming out saying that the healthiest weed is really the weed that is grown outdoors with natural sunlight. Again, the further we get away from what is natural, the more problems start to happen. And so when a plant that was intended to grow out under the sun in nature is brought indoors and grown under lights and things like that, although it can be grown extremely powerful, it's still, you're moving away from nature. And that's why they say now that the CBD and the weed and things like that grows outside is the better one, because it gets the full spectrum of nutrients from the sun. And yeah, so that's just some food for thought, guys, to think about. That, another great reason to quit smoking weed is that, the weed and the marijuana grown nowadays is toxic, it's poisonous, most likely GMO, and we don't really know the long-term effects of it. And it's significantly more powerful than the weed that grew out in nature. And so we don't, how that could be damaging our brains and also have some kind of epiological effect, where if I said that word right, where it could even affect our children if you haven't had kids yet. So we don't really know about all these long-term effects of just how powerful that this new age weed really is, because it's nothing like the stuff that your grandparents used to smoke, or nothing like the weed that is grown out in nature. And so if you were going to smoke, then you'd be better off growing it yourself, so you know how it's controlled, and or just getting some weed that's growing out by accident out in the woods, out in nature. But still, the best way to live life, guys, is to live sober, to learn the beauty in living life, the fun of life, and not needing to to escape. Because life is beautiful, guys. And so with that being said, guys, hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life, baby.